Today we're comparing the new updated Tab Plus Gen 2 from Lenovo to the previous version to see if it's actually better or is it just a new design. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It really helps more people see this video. Not a huge surprise, but pricing went up about $100 for the Gen 2 at $399. It's also nice they include the case with the new Gen 2 Tab Plus. Just keeps it a little more protected that way. It starts with 128 gigabytes of storage and with 8 gigabytes of RAM, just like the previous version. And you can still use a micro SD card on this one as well. The screen size is now larger at 12.1 inches versus 11.5. It also goes up to 120 Hz refresh rate versus 90, and it's brighter as well at 800 nits peak brightness. It's also higher resolution at 2560 by 1600 versus 2000 by 1200 on the older version. So definitely some nice improvements there. When you put these two next to each other, you can definitely see how much brighter the Gen 2 is. It's going to have better viewing angles as well on the Gen 2. I also think the older design tilts back and forth too much when you lay it down, where with the new design, it's got that larger speaker, so it actually lays pretty flat, and you don't really have to worry about it rocking back and forth. You'll also notice they moved the placement of the power and volume buttons there on the back, which you don't really see on any tablet that I can think of. Seems to work pretty good on there. You can also see because of the larger speaker, it sets up off of the table. You can even slide the older tablet right underneath until it hits the speaker. They also put a larger 10,200 milliamp hour battery in the Gen 2 versus 8600. But when I ran my typical battery drain test at 100% screen brightness, the older version actually lasted about 9 hours compared to only 6 on the Gen 2. I think if you turn down the screen brightness, battery life is going to be much closer between these two. Nice thing is you do have up to 45 watt fast charging on both tablets. Not a huge surprise, but the software between these two are going to be very similar. You've got Google Entertainment Space left of the home screen on both of these. You also have the taskbar down at the bottom, which makes it easy to switch between apps, or you can drag apps up into split screen or floating windows. You've also got PC mode, or I guess they're calling it desk mode now, on both of these if you want to be a little more productive. It's actually very similar to classic Samsung DeX, where it's going to look closer to a regular laptop. So definitely nice to have in my opinion. Both of these tablets also have pen support if you want to draw, take notes, and that kind of thing. Probably not quite as comfortable as using a regular tablet, but still nice to have that option on both of these. You also get 2 years of software updates, 4 years of security updates for both of these. For some reason, they extended the security updates on the new IdeaTab Pro Gen 2, but not on this one, at least from what I could find. Even though the Gen 2 still has 8 gigabytes of RAM, it now has the Dimensity 7400 processor versus MediaTek Helio G99. And as you can see, it's better in single and multi-core scores. Also quite a bit better when it comes to GPU performance as well. I think both do a decent job with performance, just moving around the software or doing some multitasking. You can even play some games on both of these. Again, a little more awkward to hold and to reach things on the screen, but still not bad overall. I think the biggest change with the Gen 2 is going to be the speaker design. I think it sounds a little better and has better bass, but I also think it looks cooler how it's almost like a large speaker just stuck right on the back instead of having that thicker bar going across the bottom. You can also see a little bit different style of the built-in kickstand there on the back as well. You can actually rotate it 360 degrees on the Gen 2. Pretty nice to have on both of these really. I also think it's a little easier to grip the tablet with the new design, not to mention it doesn't rock back and forth as much now. One downside is with the new design is it's heavier at 760 grams versus 650 on the previous one. But here's a quick audio test to see if you can hear a difference between the two.
Try to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away. As you to fade away. It's you.
Now when it comes to cameras, the Gen 2 upgraded from 8 megapixels on the back to now 13. Then they both have 8 megapixels there on the front. You can also now record up to 4K resolution on the Gen 2 versus 1080p on the previous one. Here's a few quick samples just to give you an idea of how they compare. So hopefully this gave you an idea on what things were updated or just what the differences are in general. It appears to be a nice upgrade in most categories. I still think Lenovo needs to add more years onto their major software updates and at least increase security updates across the board on all new tablets. I would say if you already have the first gen Tab Plus, it probably wouldn't make sense to upgrade to the Gen 2. Although if you sell your current one and use that towards the new one, plus with it being on sale, that might make it a little more reasonable. But both of these tablets are definitely more unique than most other tablets you're gonna see, so definitely nice to have different options when it comes to tablets. If you like phones, tablets, and other tech, I've got a lot more stuff that I'm working on as usual, so you'll want to keep an eye out for those upcoming videos. So if you've made it this far into the video, you may want to say thanks by subscribing, and don't forget to give a thumbs up if this video was helpful. This is Brian from Fishbee Productions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.